If you are thinking about buying a Samsung Neo QLED TV this year, I'm going to tell you 5 things you need to know to help you understand the model ranges better so that you can make the right purchase decision. Hello everyone, Vincent Teo from HDTVtest here. Thing number 1 that you need to know is that only the models with one connect box will get 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, whereas the Neo QLED models without one connect box will only get one HDMI 2.1 port on HDMI 4. What this means is that the Samsung Neo QLED TVs that will get 4 HDMI 2.1 ports are the 4K flagship QN95A, and then for the 8K models, it will be both the QN800A and also the flagship QN900A. Which brings me to thing number 2 that you need to know, which is that the European countries will get a better deal than the USA in terms of the 4K models. Let me explain what this means. So the US 4K flagship model is going to be the Samsung QN90A, and the QN90A won't come with a one connect box, so you will only get one HDMI 2.1 port on HDMI 4. Whereas in European countries, including the UK, our flagship 4K Neo QLED model is going to be the QN95A, and this ships with a one connect box offering 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. Now, being from the UK, obviously I know the feeling about the EU getting a better deal. But do you really need 4 HDMI 2.1 ports? That depends on your requirements and what sort of devices you own. If you are a hardcore gamer who owns, let's say, a PS5 and Xbox Series X, and maybe a PC with an AMD or NVIDIA HDMI 2.1 graphics card, then perhaps you might be better trying to go for a Samsung Neo QLED model with a one connect box so that you can get more HDMI 2.1 ports to hook up all these devices. And as I've discussed in a previous video about whether you can depend on HDMI switches and also AV receivers, I think it is quite some time away still, given that last year we had the HDMI 2.1 AV receiver bug, and I don't think it is still going to be resolved for 2021 models, and I still don't see any HDMI 2.1 switcher on the market at the moment. So if you have multiple HDMI 2.1 source devices, then maybe you have to resort to plugging and unplugging these individual devices to your TV if you only have one HDMI 2.1 port. So I would always advise you that if your budget allows, to try and go for a model with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. And this brings me to thing number 3 that you need to know. And in the year 2021, because of the implementation of mini LED technology within Samsung's Neo QLED TV range, the number of local dimming zones is actually tied to the screen size rather than to the model range. Let me explain. So within the 4K range, there will be the QN85A, the QN90A, and the QN95A. And maybe in European countries, you may get some other variants as well. But let's just assume that we have the QN85A, the QN90A, and also the QN95A. Now, these will come in various screen sizes: 55-inch, 65-inch, 75-inch, and 85-inch. Now, the 55-inch QN85A will have the same number of local dimming zones as the 55-inch QN90A and also the 55-inch QN95A. So they will all have 576 zones, whereas the 65-inch QN85A, QN90A, and also the QN95A will get 792 local dimming zones, and the 75-inch models for all these different 4K Neo QLED ranges will get even more zones, maybe up to 1,000 zones. Again, these are not confirmed numbers until I can actually get these sets in and count them myself, but these are just the early information that I have received, that for the year 2021, the number of local dimming zones is equal across all, say, 4K Neo QLED ranges, and also separately for the 8K Neo QLED ranges. So as far as I understand, the number of local dimming zones will be double for the 8K Neo QLED ranges, but between the QN800A and also the QN900A, the number of local dimming zones will be the same for the same screen size. This video is sponsored by Box, the online technology store. Visit box.co.uk for the best deals on TVs, soundbars, and all your other technology needs. What I'm going to do next is to talk about the fourth thing that you need to know, and that is the differences between the model numbers. I wanted to talk about price, but I think before talking about price, it is best for me to actually explain the differences between different model ranges, especially in the UK where I'm based. So I've created this table here that breaks down the features that are present within the QN85A, which is the entry-level 4K Neo QLED from Samsung this year, and then the step-up model of QN90A, then another level up of QN94A, and also the top-tier 4K QLED model of QN95A. So only models above the QN90A will get the ultra-wide viewing angle, and in conjunction with that, the superior anti-glare filter, which I genuinely like a lot on Samsung QLED TV. So I think that they deliver the best bright-room performance because of a combination of high full screen brightness and also this anti-glare filter that can combat reflections better than any other solution that I've seen on the market. But the QN85A and also the QN90A won't be getting this ultra wide viewing angle plus anti-glare filter. Now, what's the difference between the QN85A and also the QN90A then, if they both have the same number of local dimming zones for the same screen size? As far as I understand, the difference will be in terms of the peak brightness. The peak brightness of the QN85A won't be as high as the peak brightness that the QN90A will be capable of. Next, we go one step up to the QN94A. Now, this is a UK model, but in other European countries, it may be known as the QN91A, QN92A, QN93A, depending on the region and also the stand color. But what this is actually just the QN90A plus the anti-glare filter with the ultra-wide viewing angle technology. So in essence, this QN94A or QN91A, 92A or 93A is actually equivalent to the US flagship model of the QN90A. I know this is all more confusing than Tenet, but this is how Samsung has decided to segregate these model numbers for different regions. So the same model number will mean slightly different things for different regions. And in the USA, the QN90A will get the ultra-wide viewing angle and also superior anti-glare filter, which is similar to what we get in the UK on the QN94A. And then in the UK and also the rest of the European countries can upgrade to a more expensive model with the One Connect box, which again offers for HDMI 2.1 ports, and that will be the QN95A. And if you look at these prices that I've actually compiled here, you can see that the prices are generally quite high, but that is because, this is Samsung and they feel quite confident in their marketing power and brand recognition to charge such a high price relative to other LED LCDs on the market. But if you look at these prices that I've actually highlighted here, I think, for the 55-inch and 65-inch QN94A, you might as well just pay £100 more to upgrade to the QN95A and get the One Connect box with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. If we look at the 75-inch and 85-inch models, you actually have to pay a £500 premium to get the One Connect box. So maybe it depends on your use case and whether you actually really need 4 HDMI 2.1 ports before deciding to splash out more on the QN95A. But this is just my way of distilling the information about Samsung's 2021 Neo QLED TVs, particularly the 4K models, into an easy to understand format. So let me know if you like to see me do a similar video for other manufacturers. For more videos on 2021 televisions, I've created a playlist here if you'd like to click on it, and I will see you in the next video.